Hi, how you going? It's Coach Mark here once again, and I want to share with you today a model of business planning, or even better, a model of running your business that will help you take care of building the strategy and execution now, but also knowing how that fits into the big picture and your goals and where you're going. And more importantly, being able to communicate this with your investors, communicate this with your business partners, and most importantly, communicate this with your employees and anyone who's really helping you travel along in your business. It'll also help you make very fast decisions in where you're going, because if you're not really clear on what the outcome is or even how you might get there, then the tendency is to say yes to everything. Now, early on, it's okay to say yes to everything because this is your way of testing and finding out through experience what's going to work. But then there comes to a point where you need to be a little bit more strategic in what you say yes and no to. So you need to know what to say no to preserve your time. While you've got all the time in the world, say yes to everything and see what works, but take the feedback and just do the things that work after time. Then once you get busy, you don't have time to do everything that could possibly come up. Now you need to know what to say no to, and this will help you get a little more clarity in this, which is part of the reason this is going to help you have your best year yet for this financial year. So let's get started. The challenge that most business owners face in planning is we jump straight into strategy. So for a lot of business owners, a lot of partners will planning for the year and go straight away, okay, right, how are we going to do this? And whether this is a conscious thought or not, this is where the conversation tends to just default straight to, which is like, right, how are we going to grow the business? Now, if we just start off with how we're going to grow or how we're going to build, if everyone has a different idea of what that outcome is, then we all start discussing things in a different way. And then we'll come back to what is the most common denominator, which is, okay, what are we going to do today? What are we going to do tomorrow? And we'll end up with a week plan or some clear ideas for the week, and then things will start to diverge, or there's a lack of clarity, or people just have a different idea. Some people want to grow massively, some people want to grow a little bit, and other people are just happy with going like, well, let's just have another year like last year. Like last year was really good, I'll be happy just to not work too hard and sustain what we've got. And you've got to make sure that everyone is on the same page. So this is where the best place to start is with your vision. Now, I have a lot to say about vision, so I may well do another video on this one. Vision needs to be developed by the owner, the founders, or the people who run the business. If you're in a partnership, then you need to agree on when we achieve what we set out to achieve in our business, when our clients are all doing amazingly well, what do we see in the world as a result of that? So what are we coming up with? What is our vision? How is our influence on the world going to be seen when we actualize it in 5, 10, 15, 30 years, whatever that might be? Because this is going to dictate, okay, the direction that you're going to head in. Now with this, we're going to have some people who are more big picture thinkers, and they will see this really easily, and they'll prefer to start here. Having said that, we've got more people who are in the details. So with the details, the challenge here is this can feel like a big jump to get to here. So we've got to start building up. We need to start with a common vision and working that out. But if you've got a company that already has a vision and a mission statement, then start your strategic meetings with this, with a reminder of this. Now the other thing is to make sure you create the environment to have this conversation. If you are in your meeting rooms, or if you're in your office where it's the get stuff done mode, then that is the wrong place to have this conversation. As soon as you walk into that room, you're like, right, where are we gonna go? If you have your meetings in the same, or your planning sessions in the same place that you have your strategic meetings or your workflow meetings, then you're going to go jump straight into workflow mode rather than, okay, what's the big picture and where are we going? And we need to get a little bit more creative. This is very much a creative space. So identify the creatives or the artists or the what if people in your group, and allow them to take care of the conversation here. The vision is then going to break down into your mission. And if you don't have a mission statement, then this is where your strategic planning session starts. Work out what is your mission. So on your quest to achieve this vision, What is the mission that you are executing in order to get there? This has a little bit more context of your business. So the vision might be a big picture of we want to improve the quality of life for people in our community. And we will know that's been achieved because everyone has their own house and they are paying their mortgages comfortably and they're spending time with their family. Whatever it is that you want to see in the world, there's evidence of that. And then your mission is, okay, well, what's our part to play? How do we influence that outcome? So determine what your mission statement is. And now you've got this, now we have everyone in a room with a focus of, okay, right, this is where we're heading. The challenge here is there is no timeline on this yet. So now we've got to work out, okay, well, what's going to help us stick on our mission without having to think about it every single day? Because if you spend all of your time up here, there's not enough details to grab hold of to actually execute. So we've got to join the dots. This is where our values come in. So work out, what are your company values and what are your top 5? Now this can be quite a quick exercise, and the way to speed this up is the first ones that will come to mind, at least whenever I've done value sessions with clients, first things come up with honesty, integrity, customer service. These all become values, but then I want you to think of it is there anyone who goes into business not having integrity as one of their key focuses? Has anyone go into business saying, you know what, I'm going to lie to my clients and rip them off. That is my foundation of my business. That's where we're going to go. So have integrity, have honesty, but they're not going to be your top 5. What are your core values where we start to move into this? Your value could be family, and that's going to start to drive your culture. So if you as founders have a strong value of family, then bring that into your workplace. Make sure you get families involved. Treat your staff like they're our family. Take them out on barbecues on the weekend, those kind of things, so that you are living your values, and that will start to create the culture. And this is probably one of the most important things with the values is values dictate culture of your office. And now you have an environment to start to execute what you want to achieve. And this is where we start getting into the traditional strategic planning, because now we can start talking about the goals. Now, if you don't have a goal to start your strategic planning with, then everyone's going to be shooting at different targets. This is one of the biggest challenges with not having a goal. We need to go, okay, it's on or before the 30th of June next year, and this is what we have achieved over the year. This is what we're reflecting on. And then have everyone step into that as if you already have it. So you've got an experience or a connection with that outcome. Now, once we've got that connection with the outcome, now we can start moving into the strategy. Now we know where we're going and we are all on board with saying, yes, is this what we want to achieve? And everyone says, yes, that's it. This is a fantastic goal. Now, how are we going to get there? Let's plan it out. And this is where the volume of time needs to be spent. Now, here's the catch. If you rush through this, this becomes an ineffective strategy. If you jump straight into goals and strategy, or even worse, straight into strategy, then you're playing a game where you are writing the rules of that you don't even know that you're playing. That's the game that you want to play. If you're in a sports team, then what's the goal? Is it to just have a social weekend game, in which case there's going to be different expectations to a team that wants to play well and win a national championships, which is a different set of rules and expectations of someone who wants to go to the Olympics, which is a different set of rules and goals. It's to someone who wants to win the Olympics and become a gold medal, or who wants to stay at the top of their game for a period of time. So get clear on what that is so you can have an effective strategy, because the way that someone trains for fun on the weekend is going to be very different from the person who wants to train to win gold at the Olympics. And that's what you'll need to be on board with, and you need to find the coaches and the support team around you that's going to get you to that thing. So, going back to this, with our goals and our strategy, your vision, mission, and values will determine your goals and why they are important. And then once you have your goals, you can determine a strategy. So let's assume you're a law firm. You're a small law firm. You've done well over the last few years, and you've kind of hit a cap as to where your turnover or your income or your profit is sitting at. And next year, you know that you might be, maybe you're a $3 million law firm, and you want to go to 5 or 10 million. then that's the time it's deciding now, okay, at what time frame are we going to achieve that? Or do you just want to grow by a percentage growth over the next few years and just gradually build from that? But the reality is they'll hit a point where your strategies or your systems don't support the next level that you're going to. So these are all things that you need to look at in planning out that strategy. And be quite ruthless in how you start to discuss this. So when I say ruthless, challenge all of the ideas to test them in the room on the day rather than waiting 12 months to see if they worked. What I mean by testing them is just challenge them, play the devil's advocate a little bit, and see if they stand up and see if we get enough details to then work out what that means. The other thing with a strategy is if someone else in the room is proposing that this is what we need to do and you're sitting there going like, I don't know what that is, it is not a clear strategy, it's just an idea. So we need to nut it out so that everyone in the room can pick up a step-by-step guide and go, yeah, I've got this now. Think of it also, especially if you've got multiple people in the room, is if one of those influencers, if one of those people was to win lotto and go and take 6 months off, could you pick up where they left off? Do you know what their plan is, what they need to do, so you can fill that gap? So test it in the room and always ask this question. To connect it to this, ask for what purpose? So when we ask for what purpose are we doing this? Making sure to test that it connects in with the goal. Or if we do this, will it give us that? And if the answer is absolutely yes, then maybe this is where it goes. So the strategy, someone might say, all right, we need to go through our list of clients and see where we can upsell into a high level package. And maybe the goal is to increase your turnover by 1 million in the next financial year. So then the question is, okay, if we go back and upsell some of our clients, will that get us to 1 million? And if the answer is probably not, then great, table it, still do that thing, but know that's a piece of the pie that's going to take you to that 1 million. Alternatively, so then you can look at what else can you do. It's like, okay, well now we need to find a new strategic marketing strategy that will attract new clients of a higher value. Will that achieve our 1 million? It's like, well, okay, well it may do, it may not. How will it not? And then you can start to build through and find out, okay, what are gonna be the multiple things? Now the last thing I'm gonna say on strategy just now is, with this strategy, then there is an element of, you might end up with 15 things you want to execute that are all great ideas and that are planned out a little bit to then get us to where we want to be, but you might not have the time to execute all 15 of those. So then start to break it down, okay, what are the 3 to 5 things that we are going to do on top of what we are already currently doing? So that's the most important thing. Don't sacrifice what you've been doing for the hope of the new goal. Keep doing what has built this solid foundation so that you can then grow on it and use it as a platform to launch. And then, once we've got the strategy, there's one more step, is the execution. Now, this is who and how are we gonna build this strategy. And once we've got all of these elements in place, now we have a rock solid blueprint for the next financial year. And what I really wanted to share today was highlighting that most people will have a strength in a particular area. There's the visionaries and the creatives that do incredibly well up here. There are the warriors and the people who just get stuff done that do incredibly well down here. There are our thinkers that do really, really well with the strategy and the goals. And then there are our people who take care of people, our healers and humanitarians that do really well in here. They just want people to connect and have a good time. So when you can identify those different characteristics in your leadership team, now you can start to use those people as a guide for each of these sections, making sure that each one is connected beautifully, and then you can test it by, if we do this, will this happen? If this happens, will we have this? If this happens, will we achieve that? And this is how you know that you've got a great strategy. The other thing I mentioned is, however long you think this is going to take, double it. This will always take a little bit longer because people are starting to sound out ideas. And the more time you give this now, the more time you will save over the next 12 months, and the more motivated everyone's going to be to really achieve it. We want people leaving these sessions going like, oh yeah, okay, I'm really excited about what's going to happen, and I feel really confident that we're going to get to where we said we want to get to, rather than, oh wow, that was hard work, and we've got a lot of work ahead of us and I don't know if this is going to work, then you've just wasted your time. You really want people on board and ready to go. And now you've got a clear way to communicate everything through your business, because the leadership should be focusing here. Middle management should be here, and then your employees or your team should be working through here. And now you've got a communication plan to make sure that everyone is going to be working through. So that's our overview. This is the hierarchy of ideas for your ultimate business blueprint for the next 12 months. Please be aware that there'll be an area that you are focusing incredibly well on, and we just go to our strengths. This is where we tend to go. So if you're leading the meetings, be aware of where you tend to gravitate to, and then start to build your muscle in these other areas, because each area is as important as the other. Because without this, we don't get a great plan, and without the plan or the execution, no change happens. So next thing, if you want to learn a little more about how to execute this well, or how to facilitate a really good meeting, then click onto our download. We've got a tutorial for you to work through which tells you how to execute each of these steps and some key areas within this, a little PDF download for you to follow the steps or take it as a cheat sheet through your meeting, and how to set up that meeting, how to run it, and then what needs to happen afterwards to give you the best chance of success through the next 12 months. I've been Mark Smith. Please comment and get in touch if you have any questions at all. Otherwise, I wish you all the best with your strategic planning and your goals for the next period of time. And please let us know how you go.